spectrum of, well, is it legal? I'm not sure if I want to talk to people, and you're not bulletproof. My intentions today is to make sure that you're bulletproof so that when we get off this training today, you're going to talk to anyone that you know and love and pack out the 2:00 p.m. excuse me, overview call that we're going to have this afternoon. So let me read this to you because some of you will be able to relate, because I want you guys to understand that corporate receives emails and gets different things as well. And I'm going to inoculate you guys with the kind of perspective that you need in order to be successful. But before I do that, let me go ahead and share my screen real quickly, and then I'm going to read this to you, and we're going to break this thing down for each and every one of you. Oops, let me go back. Okay, so this was someone that sent out the video, a presentation, whatever the case may be, and this is the response. Like I said, it's no names here. This is just a training moment for each and every one of you. So the response was in an email: I've watched the video you sent me and checked out the website. I realized I could just say I'm not interested, but I have to be honest about this. Regardless of the positive images, philanthropic sentiments, and the founder's intentions, the underlying core of this business as a pyramid scheme cannot be ignored. First, crowdfunding is meant to supply funds to a particular project and or person, often philanthropic and innovative, with no expectation of compensation. I imagine this is how co-op skirts some of the legal issues by saying these things are donations and gifts. The issue is that most people signing up for this likely do so with the intention and expectation of making money, as described in the presentation. Otherwise, they might just donate to a cause dear to them rather than to a friend or stranger who isn't necessarily in need of charity. The possibility of making money is what drives people to sign up for this, not philanthropy. If that wasn't the case, we would all donate to crowdfunding initiatives in which we expect no return, except for that person or organization to do good. Ultimately, this scheme uses the principle of crowdfunding and philanthropy to avoid calling itself an MLM, but uses the incentive of making money to sign people up and drive it forward. Where this is MLM becomes a pyramid scheme is when, number one, there's no good or service being provided or exchanged. Number two, it's funded by signing up new members. And it goes on and on and on. And it said, listen, I'm grateful that you thought enough of the business venture that you're excited about, but this is textbook pyramid scheme. This business is designed absolutely illegal in Canada as the promotion of one. And in my honest opinion, I really don't think sharing this content is a good idea. Be careful. So that was something that, one of our members had received. And some of you may have, heard different things out there in the background. And here's what I want you guys to understand, because I'm going to go ahead and knock this thing out of the park so that you guys can get past all of this negativity and jargon, because just like when Uber came along, prior to Uber coming along, it was thought of don't pick up hitchhikers. Uber comes along and it's okay. And Mark Twain said it best: never allow schooling to interfere with your education. This person is sincere, but they're sincerely wrong. And I'm getting ready to share with you guys why that's the case. Because we're getting ready to change the world. We're at the tip of the spear when it comes to this global revolution. And so a global problem requires a global solution. And a lot of people are hurting financially and need their causes funded. So let's go ahead and break some of this thing down. He talked about philanthropy. Let's talk about what the definition of philanthropy is. Basically, it's the desire to promote the welfare of others, expressed especially by the generous donation of money to good causes. Now, what's a good cause? That's so subjective. Do you think that innovating a computer versus someone paying their monthly mortgage or taking care of outstanding medical bills is more of a good cause than someone else's? So a cause is a cause, and it is nobody's business to define what a good cause is. That is completely subjective. But let's go ahead and break this thing down when you look at traditional crowdfunds, because this individual does not understand what it is that we're doing. We talk about that co-op is an industry disruptor. We are one of a kind, meaning you cannot put us in a box. We are unique. You've never seen anything like this before, but I'm going to educate you guys on why we are the real deal. When you look at this right here, traditional crowdfunds, what you're actually looking at, the perspective is you're looking down on this structure here of a crowdfund. That dot in the middle can be Indiegogo, Kickstarter, PayPal, Facebook, whatever. The dots around it going down are the different causes and people that use their platform to generate, to go ahead and create their campaign, if you will. So it's pyramidal in structure. Why is it okay for a centralized platform to get all the money funneled up to them and then they disseminate it at will? That is the pyramid. So when you look at these different platforms, all right, they get a piece of the action, and then they also get processing fees, transfer fees, and all these other things. But it goes up to Indiegogo in their hierarchy, their bureaucratic nature, and then they get a piece of the action, which this person feels like that's okay to do. But it's not okay when we flatten that pyramidal structure and redistribute the kind of funding that we're able to create with CoopCrowd. So please take a picture of that so you understand what I'm talking about here. The other thing that he talked about is people giving donations for the sake of, or being incentivized to give donations only to receive something, and that's not goodwill. That's not true, because there are 5 different types of crowdfunding, okay? There's donation-based, which we know about. There is debt-based crowdfunding, all right, where you go ahead and you give, you create a campaign to get funded with the expectation of paying it back. There's also rewards-based. So who would do a rewards-based crowdfunding project? Well, with the intent of donating to the cause in order to receive discounts, or maybe a discount on the product that they're donating towards. Then there is equity-based. Equity-based is when you donate into an equity-based crowdfund, and then with the expectation of getting a return of a piece or equity position in the company, right? And then you have real estate-based, where it's a pool of people that are able to come together and they go ahead and put it into a real estate deal to buy an apartment complex or whatever the case may be, typically a minimum of like $5,000, all right? In the expectation of getting a return on a quarterly basis. So this notion of what we're doing is incentivizing people to donate because they want to get something in return as we're doing something wrong is absolutely nonsense, ladies and gentlemen, because there are other crowdfunding platforms out there that is exactly what they do. They create the campaign to incentivize people to donate. And what we're doing is a philanthropy, if you will. We're changing the world. We're looking to eradicate poverty. We're looking for people to hit their number to cover their monthly expenses. So I'm sharing this with each and every one of you because you're going to be dealing with this kind of, let's say, mindset, which is the old guard. They're not ready to be innovative. They don't understand that we're moving into a brand new reality, and the Internet of Things is making this all possible. Now let's look at CoopCrowd, our crowdfunding. Look at the difference here. It's distributed. We are literally, it's not a hierarchy. We get paid 100%. So in order to get paid 100%, that means it's not going up to a hierarchy just to a CEO. And then you have administrators and regional managers and all that kind of stuff that you have to pay and employees. It is flattening, all right, the pyramidal structure of all the other traditional crowdfunding platforms and goes into the pockets and the bank accounts or your decentralized wallet. Because that's the other thing I want you guys to understand about the traditional crowd funds is that when you're ready, when it's time to withdraw your money, it can take anywhere from 2 to 5 business days, and it depends on the processing of your bank. Guess what our bank is? Our own private decentralized digital wallet. People, I'm over the moon excited about the genius of what David Rosen has put in place to effectuate the kind of change that is going to allow us to eradicate poverty and to help each and every one of us get our full measure of success. So this is what we're doing. So don't allow anyone to steal your dreams, okay? As leaders, we have to educate people about what's going on. So when you think about it, one donation in crowd effectuates and helps 10 people's causes. That's the distribution process of what it is that we're doing. It is fair, it is benevolent, and it is ideally, it's almost perfect. So I wanted to share that with each and every one of you so that you're inoculated with your belief, okay? Because 1% doubt and you're out. You need to have 100% bona fide belief in terms of what it is that we're doing. Now, he also mentioned that in Canada, it's illegal. But did he realize that the founder of CoopCrowd lives in Canada? So I want you guys to understand, don't entertain nonsense. They may be sincere. They may be even intellectually intelligent. You may look up to them, but they just don't know what they don't know. And in the words of Mark Twain, once again, Do not allow schooling to interfere with your education, people. This makes